Is AT&T stock a buy for 2023? I'm going to answer that question in this video, so stay tuned. All right, one of the more interesting things about AT&T stock is its performance in 2022. I have a chart pulled up here for AT&T stock, and it's relatively flat as of this recording. It's down just a 0.5% for the year. That's compared to broader market indices. Some of them are down 15, 20, 30%. Some stocks are down 40, 50, 60, 75% or more. And AT&T has performed relatively well. And Verizon itself is down more than 20%. So AT&T has done relatively well, and perhaps that's an indicator that it might continue to do well in 2023. One of the things I'm looking at for AT&T is quarterly revenue growth going back to 2014, and we see large fluctuation here. This is the divestiture of the DirecTV. It made in my opinion, poor decision buying DirecTV back around 2015, 2014, and that's turned out to be a poor decision. Millions of people have been canceling their cable and satellite connection, choosing to go with cheaper, more convenient streaming options instead, and that decision was not good. It divested the company for billions less than it paid for it. Another thing I want to look at is AT&T's operating income going back over the years, and relatively stable operating income. If we could draw the line here from 2014, if we ignore these spikes and ups and downs, and we look over it, it's been around 6 billion for several years now, and that makes sense because the business that it's in now, especially after divesting the DirecTV business, it's selling home and wireless internet connections, and that's a mature industry. Customers sign up and they pay their bill almost every month, and that's one of the last things customers are going to cancel. Even if they were to lose their jobs or get demoted and have a decrease in income, they're not going to go looking to their cell phone bill or their home internet bill to cancel to save money, right? They're going to look at other ways to save money instead of canceling their wireless internet or home internet. That's more of a necessity rather than optional discretionary spending. So for that reason, heading into 2023, where the risk of recession is rising, AT&T stock could be a good option here. The next thing I want to look at is its cash flow from operations. And similarly, we go back to 2014. It fell, cash flow from operations fell, then it rose nicely over the years, and then it had been declining, and it had a short-term bump up again here. And overall, the business should drive solid cash flow from operations. As like I mentioned earlier, the company's revenue comes from recurring business, right? Customers sign up for their cell phone bill, they pay consistently over the years. The big fluctuations in revenues, profits, and cash flows for AT&T's business is the changes in technology, right? Right now, that big change is to 5G technology. So AT&T had to invest billions of dollars rolling out the 5G technology, but that should now serve it for several years until the next technology becomes available and the next cycle it needs to invest billions of dollars in and then generate cash flows from that investment, right? So that's essentially their business. They've proven that they can be good at this for decades, consistent. Now, don't expect to see very much growth from AT&T. They've not been able to demonstrate revenue or profit or cash flow from operation growth. We saw it's just flat-ish. So don't expect very much growth from AT&T. Rather, you can expect consistency, flat-ish consistency from AT&T. Lastly, let's look at its valuation to determine if it's a good price to buy this stock at. And looking at price to free cash flow of 10.58, it's about average to what it's been going back to 2014, slightly on the expensive side. looking at its relative price, but on an absolute basis compared to companies in the S&P 500, a price to free cash flow of 10.58 is relatively inexpensive. And then looking at its forward price to earnings ratio of 7, that is relatively average compared to AT&T, but compared to the S&P 500, it's cheap. So, and you know, what I haven't mentioned yet here is that AT&T pays a very healthy dividend payment. The dividend yield is I would say 50%, at least 50% higher than what you can get from investing in a 30-year government bond. So you're getting a very good dividend yield if you're investing in AT&T stock. So even if the stock price remains flat, you can get a 5, 6, 7%, and maybe 8% depending on what price you pay for AT&T stock. You can get a solid dividend yield. So you don't need to look for stock price growth from AT&T. You can look for just dividend yield from AT&T. So if you're interested in AT&T stock for 2023, you could go ahead and buy AT&T stock for 2023. Just don't expect the stock price to double overnight. This is not a fast growing company. This is steady, mild, less than 10% returns from this kind of investment. All right, so that's all I've got for this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.